Acharya Shri, what is sadhana?
Sadhana is a Sanskrit word and it includes many aspects of spiritual practices. Because in Sanskrit, sadhana includes a lot of aspects of spiritual practices. That's what we use in Indian traditions, one word, sadhana. Sadhana doesn't mean only just a person is practicing yoga or meditation. Sadhana is when you are in silence. That is a practice because now you are going inner world, inner side of you, and you will look at who you really are. And if you practice silence, it is it gives you a lot of opportunity that you will not waste your time to talk, uselessly talking. So silence makes you a good person. That is one of aspect of sadhana is silence, and it is very hard. It seems very easy, but when it comes to the real way to be in silence, it is very difficult. Silence doesn't mean just you don't speak. Silence means now you are silent from anger, silent from ego, silent from all the lower qualities, whatever violence or if a person is hurting others, or you are silent physically, mentally, or by thoughts. You don't even think negative thoughts. That is called real silence. That is a spiritual practice. That is, or you can do japa. Japa is two kinds of. Either you can recite mantras loud, or you can do ajapa japa. Ajapa japa means mentally. You are not reciting words or mantra. Like a mantra Om. Om is very simple. Om, you recite this mantra. Or you do mentally, like nobody hears you, but you do it. It is called japa japa. That is a spiritual practice because now your all bad thoughts, negative thoughts disappear and you are concentrate somewhere. You are focused on someone. Beautiful sound like Om or Om Namo Siddhaya. There are many mantras. So repeating that loud or in mentally, like in mind, then you will be surprised that it brings peace in your life and you grow spiritually. Or you can do meditation, sit in meditation, and your body, your thoughts, your mind, they one time they disappear or you forget them and the real meditation begins. Or you can do fasting. Fasting is also a kind of spiritual practice because it burns karma too, because fasting is a fire. And fire not only going to detoxify your body, also it will burn all the toxins inside, and also on this, if your intention is pure that you want to burn your karma, so you're not expecting that I am doing fasting, I want to go to heaven, I want to win the lotto. Not for that purpose. You are just doing it for spiritual growth, and it begins to burn karma. So that is called sadhana. Like sometimes people sit in one posture, like lotus posture, or they stand in one posture and they don't move. They are fully in meditation. That is called sadhana. You can, in people's mind, theory is also kind of sadhana. And anything theoretical is not a sadhana. Like many people think, if they repeat Gita is a holy book of Hindu, they think that if they repeat one chapter every day, they are doing sadhana. By repeating Gita or by repeating Bibles or by repeating Quran or by repeating any holy book, it doesn't make you a spiritual person. No, it is not a sadhana. Sadhana is if you learn from that book something good. Like if Gita mentions something, how to be detached from someone, or how to be fully burn the karma. If you learn something from the holy book, that is called practical. And that's what I think the sadhana, the more you do it, the more good thoughts you do it, or if you learn under the guidance, if you meet a master, if you meet an enlightened person, if you learn directly, so the master will teach you all practical things. Like the master might teach you pranayama, the master might teach you how to be fully just close your eyes and sit, or he or she will teach you tratka. Tratka is like one pointedness. So there are many ways, and sadhana can be many different kind of. So it is not one way. So the people who think that spirituality is just a one path, they are fully wrong. Spirituality can be many ways, and that's why sadhana includes lot of aspects of spiritual practices. And let me tell you, the real thing is spirituality is a practical. You don't have to just read and follow. Reading and following, it doesn't make you a real spiritual person. But if you do little bit practical, like if you have listened that anger is not good, and you practice that whenever anger comes, enter into my body or into my mind, I am aware about my anger, and as soon as you become aware, the anger begins to dissolve by itself. That is the call practical. And when you do practical thing, even little bit, like fasting, I am not saying that you do 10-day fasting. I will suggest you, even you eat like 3 meals a day, if you drop even 1 meal, that is also considered fasting. But if you are brave enough, you can do 1 day fasting, maybe just on water. Sometimes they do on juices. So it depends on the person. It is not forced, it is voluntary. You are doing it. So sometimes, like you walk bare feet outside, it is considered one kind of sadhana. Or sometimes you sit in the sun, it is considered one kind of sadhana, because you are doing voluntarily. You are not forced to stay in the sun. If you are forced, that is not called sadhana. Like in the prisoners, they are ordered that stay outside in the hot sun, and they have no choice, they have to go. But one person is sitting in the sun, not forced, by himself, herself, and trying to concentrate, trying to meditate. That is a sadhana. But the other hand, the prisoners, they are sitting in the sun too. In their case, that is not a sadhana. So sadhana comes from your inner. It is inner phenomenon, and it is practical. So I will suggest always people, always, that do sadhana. Like early morning, do recite mantras. Maybe recite bhajans sometimes. They have good words. Or if you have any daily thoughts, sometimes they inspire you, and you begin to do little practice. And that's what I suggest people always, that if you want to be in sadhana, be practical, because practice is more important. And it is saying also in general saying that practice makes a man perfect. That's what it is. If you do practical, then you get it. If you just listen it, if you just make a theory, you can make 2,000-page theory, but it is not going to take you anywhere. But practical, yes. Sadhana is a practical, and try to follow it. You will grow spiritually. And also sometimes I say spirituality is a practical. Or in the other way, in the other word, if you really want to hear it, spirituality is practicality. Spirituality is practicality. Always remember. Jai Siddhartha.